Hola everybody, VR Eagle here with my second helicopter tutorial. This time around I'm gonna show you all the pilot gadgets you can get and what they do. As you can see here, I'm in the customization part of my helicopter, and there's 3 slots that you can use as a pilot. The first one has a bunch of gadgets that I'm gonna show you. The first gadget you get is Stealth. What this does is that increases the locking time, or the time it takes for people to lock onto you with AA missiles from another helicopter or from jets, and from stingers and iglas from the engineers. This is really great because it allows you to escape the lock-on, eventually avoiding the missile that could have killed you. The next attachment you get, or gadget, is one called Autoloader. I don't find this very useful as a pilot. There are better gadgets you can get, but what this does is that it reloads your rockets faster for you. So I'm not exactly sure about the time, but if it took 10 seconds for your rockets to reload when you finish them off, with Autoloader it will only take 5 seconds. It cuts your loading time in half. The next one you get is Proximity Scan. This is quite useless if you ask me, but what it does, it's like you have a motion sensor in your helicopter. It beeps like a sensor and it shows you enemies are in close range. I really don't find this useful because usually you're flying around and not really close to enemies, so not really useful for me. The next one you get is one called Air Radar. Before the patch it was really good. It showed you every vehicle on the map, and it changes your radar into a circle. Actually, I'm gonna show you that right now. This is what it does. The Air Radar before the patch, as I was saying, showed you every single vehicle around the map. Tanks, jeeps, enemy helicopters, enemy airplanes, everything. As you can see on the left corner, you see that your minimap has changed into a circle like a sonar. As I told you before, this circle beforehand used to show you every single vehicle. Jets, helicopters, tanks, jeeps, you name it. Everything. It also showed you things like SOFLAMs and spawn points. Mobile spawn points from the Recon class. I'm not quite sure if it still does that, but after the patch, the only thing I know that it shows you are the enemy air vehicles. Like the helicopter, as you can see it's on my map. It's not always on my map because he has unlocked something called Below Radar, which I will explain later. It's the last unlock. As you can see, the jet is flying quite high, but I can see it right on my map. Your minimap also gets expanded. As you can see, I can see pretty much the whole map, which is something you cannot normally see with your normal minimap. And that's the Air Radar in a nutshell. Let's see what's next. Maintenance. This gadget or attachment, however you want to call it, helps you when you get hit by something. When you get hit by something, be it a rocket or maybe a AA missile, what this does, it heals your helicopter faster when you let it rest. When you get hit, you can let your helicopter rest for a bit and it will automatically recover its health, just like you would do when you get hit and hide. Maintenance, what it does, it recovers your helicopter faster. It sounds useful, but there are better things out there. One of the last attachments you will get is called Laser Painter. This pretty much is a soap flam. That's what it does. It paints target with like a soap flam to help people shoot them down. When targets are painted with this, see if I can use it on my own. Let's see if I can use it on that helicopter. As you can see right now, I'm painting the jet. When you paint a jet or a helicopter in any way, you get like a diamond shape, not like a square, you see? And you get 10 points for designating that target. What this does is that after you paint the target with your laser designator, an engineer with a javelin would be able to shoot it down, something that normally would not happen. Right now, when that target is designated, an engineer could shoot it down with his javelin. Another thing you can use to shoot down people is the guided missile from tanks. If you get in a tank and have the guided missile attachment, you can shoot those laser designator targets down. All the air vehicles, both jets and helicopters, will die in one shot from a laser designated missile. Be it a javelin, be it a guided rocket, be it anything. One shot and you're dead. The only thing that can get rid of that laser designator is something called the ECM jammer, which only helicopters and jets get. As you can see, you can also paint vehicles that are not actually being occupied by anybody. Like that tank is empty, but I can still paint it out. I guess it's helpful if you want to spawn camp somebody and kill their vehicles over and over. And that's what laser designated does. A little tip: when you are being laser designated, apart from the ECM jammer, with the new patch that came through a few days ago, you are able to distract those javelins and guided rockets by using your flares. Good thing on the patch, but people can still die pretty easily from that. The last gadget you can use, the last gadget you can equip is the guided rockets. The guided rockets, simple enough. Make your normal rockets just be more accurate. Nothing else. You don't target anybody with it, you don't lace it, nothing. It makes your rocket pods be more accurate. The attachment I use is the laser painter. It's quite useful because when you go against other helicopters, you can use it, and then your gunner, as you can see, can use a guided missile. So you can kill other helicopters that are bugging you in one shot with that. Another useful thing to do with it is go against tanks, laser designate them so people can javelin them, or have other tanks guided rocket them, killing them faster and helping out your team. Now, for the second slot, there are several things you can get. The first one is the flares, which you get from the start. What the flares do, like I showed you in my previous video, your helicopter, redundancy for the win, deploys flares which make missiles miss you. It distracts the missiles and it helps you not get hit. It's quite easy. The second thing you can get is the extinguisher, and this, hopefully I can show it to you, but I'm gonna need to crash into something. It's easier to tell you what the extinguisher does if you crash into something. Alright, you can see that I'm on fire. I'm disabled right now. The extinguisher, what it does, it removes the fire, making my health go back to normal. Well, not normal, but higher than being disabled, and it lets you fly your helicopter again normally. See? No problem, no fire, and you're good to go. All you have to do is hide, wait for your health to recover, and go back out again. That's pretty much what the extinguisher does. Removes the fire so you don't die from damage over time, and allows you to regain some health so you can run away from people that are shooting you. What it also does is that when you're disabled, your helicopter will not respond as good as you would want, or as normally as if you were flying normally. When you pop up the extinguisher, you remove that disabled part and you can fly normally, so it's easier for you to get away from people. Now, the last thing you get is this thing called the ECM jammer. What the ECM jammer does is a little bit similar to what flares do, but even better. Flares only allow you to dodge the missiles once they have already been shot at you. The ECM jammer deploys a cloud of chaff, I don't actually know how to pronounce that, which, as you can see, it's quite cool. Envelops you in a cloud of great darkness. What this does is that it removes the lock-on option from people. If somebody's, sorry, it kind of sounds kind of weird, but if somebody's locking onto you and you pop your ECM jammer, they stop locking onto you for 5 seconds. They cannot lock onto you for 5 seconds. I believe this is the best attachment to have on this spot because it also allows you to get rid of the laser designator. The laser designator is counteracted by the ECM jammer. If you're being laced by somebody, by a SOFLAM, by a tank, or by even another helicopter, and you pop the ECM jammer, the lock will go away, preventing people to locking onto you with javelins and killing you in one hit, which is extremely useful. Another use for the ECM jammer is that it also most of the time works like the flares. If somebody managed to get a lock onto you and shoot a missile at you, if you pop your ECM jammer, the missile will miss you 90% of the time. I have had missiles hit me even if I pop my ECM jammer, although that also happens with the flares. It's just a little flaky if you use it that way. And that's the last thing for that slot. Now, the third slot is quite easy actually. It has only one option. The only option for the third slot, as you can see, is heat seekers. What are heat seekers, you ask me? Quite easy. Heat seekers are missiles that can lock on to other air vehicles, like the helicopter floating up, or that helicopter over there. Actually, he might actually prove like a good thing. Let's see. Actually, repair this thing. You change. Check it out. He has me with the ECM. Check it out. He has me laced, and I'm going to remove the lace by the ECM jammer, and that's it. Okay. ECM jammer avoids him from locking onto me. Now, as you can see, you switch to your AA missiles by hitting the Y button, and in your screen you see you change from the eye icon into the circle icon. Now, what does this do? It allows you to lock onto air vehicles and shoot missiles at them, like this one. I'm only gonna shoot one missile to him because, well, he doesn't actually know I'm doing this. But that was the point. You shoot missiles at other people. This, with the new patch, get locked on really quickly into other air vehicles. The missiles do a lot of damage to air vehicles. 2 missiles from a helicopter bring you down to around 19% health if you're in a helicopter, and they disable you if you're in a jet. Depending where the missiles hits you, it can also kill you in a jet. They don't kill you in a helicopter, but they disable you to really low health. And that's pretty much all the gadgets you can get on the pilot. There's only one more thing you can get as a pilot. You get, it's the last unlock for the helicopters actually, and you get something called below radar. What does below radar do? It's quite simple. As you can see, well, my friend's here, oh, there we go. My friend here is locking onto me. If I fly really low to the ground, he cannot lock anymore. What below radar does is that avoids any kind of AA missile, be it a helicopter trying to lock onto you, a jet trying to lock onto you, or a Nigla Stinger locking onto you. As you can see right now, he was trying to lock onto me with his laser designator, and he can't even do that. Alright, laser designators are not affected by below radar. You actually need to pop the ECM jammer for that. But any AA missile that is trying, any AA gun that is trying to lock onto you will fail immediately. If you're getting locked on, which is great, it's a passive effect. You don't actually have to activate it. So if you're getting locked on, you just go down and fly close to the ground, and the lock should go away. Like that. Extremely useful, and in the patch they made it so Iglas and Stingers also are affected with this. So if you see that you're getting locked on and you already pop your ECM jammer or your flares, just go down, be cool, stay close to the ground, and wait for your countermeasure to come up. Once it comes up, feel free to go up again and try to find that bastard that is trying to lock onto you. Anyways, those are all the pilot attachments, gadgets you can get. So hopefully you learned something, and I will see you on my next tutorial, which I will explain all the gunner attachments you can get. Thanks for watching, please subscribe, and have a good day. Epic landing. Yeah.